What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. I've just been trying to process how life is really going right now, and just spread more awareness of just how we always go and how we always do. And life is steadily going in this way, right? It's time is just speeding up, and I feel like I'm in this state where I'm just like truly just reborn. You know, not just reborn in the matter of a lot of things are ending and new things are like beginning in terms of life, society, how things are changing. How things don't ever stay the same. Change is inevitable, and that's just the reality of it is. And we just got to get with it. You either get with the program or you get lost. So I'm just at this state in my life, right, that I've just I've always grinded to get to where I need to go, and just now like everything just seems to not really working out. And that's just, like I said, it's inevitable, just change. As I even read stories in the Bible, in terms of how people have things, they lose everything, and I just feel like them right now. And that's literally change. And that's one thing about the world is we're progressing right now in terms of AI and the internet, or technology is just so very developing at a rapid rate, and soon unemployment can be a thing for everybody. Like I see students who just graduated from college, no one can find a job. You have to find a job, or you gotta know somebody. You knew this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy who knew this guy, stuff like that. That's literally what it takes right now in this age, and it's really no joke at all. And really to get by is really to have side hustles, or to have a some kind of secret passive income that you got on the side. And make me just think of all the opportunities which I had, but me going to school and stuff made me realize, or thinking things were going to be easier in terms of when you graduate, stuff like that. But no. And it's just like a lot of students, or a lot of people who are in school currently just don't even have jobs. And it's truly just feeling that you just went to school, you did all that for nothing, basically, to find yourself in mountains of debt and no way to get out of it because there's no job. Basically, you pay to get this thing, then you leave it, not gaining anything, basically, and no job, and you got this whole amount of money to pay back. Society as we live in, right now with people, I always know that we live in a society that's just full of crooked, how we live in a society that in order to get money, you got to do the things that, not really the moral to get money. Never. You don't ever live your life that way, trying to do all those things to get money. You got to do what you got to do to get money. Even grind every day, step out every day, no matter what. Even I just seen this one video, YouTube dude said turn into a slave. That's what you got to do to get money. And that's how I've always been moving. Jumping from job. I remember I had like 4 or 5 jobs at once. Those were like minimum wage, but not really. But that's how hard it is right now outside. It always has been low key, but 4 or 5 jobs is what it takes just to be in a decent position for yourself. One person. I even talking to one of my other buddies, and she was like, I said she. He was like, he got 3 jobs. 3 jobs. Struggling, trying. And he just made me reflect the times I had like 4 or 5, and I was like, yeah. I remember I was jumping, doing Amazon, doing the delivery, doing my homework in the van. Those were the times. Then after that, I had to like go to another job. Like, bro, those were the times. Things are like, the economy right now has not been good, and it's getting even worse. It's going to continue to get worse. The way of living is just get used to the AI and just or get used to running a business, being an influencer, or being somebody who's known in society that you do something to help others, and have a community, click, business, something, anything. That's truly what it takes. That's truly what it takes right now. And you got the haters outside. You know, we don't really talk about them, and you know, we don't really even say that in general, but we just throw that in because there are people like that outside. You know, the people that was savage. You know, there's so many people with different aspects of people in life right now. You know, we got people who's doing this, we got people who's doing that, we got people who, I said that people so many laid off of jobs and no got jobs right now, and you got people who are just dragging other people down, not making life better for nobody. But that's really what it is outside right now. And guess what? We still got God. God is with us. God is good. But that's literally what it is right now outside in this age and you know this living, and it's just going to get necessarily more worse. It's just necessarily going to get more worse. Literally, it's just going to get worse. So what did that leave a whole lot of people? All going to be looking at each other like this. Or you just going to be pointing at each other, Spider-Man meme. Leave us nowhere. Just leave us nowhere. It's really like that outside right now. It's literally like that in the state of the world. It's really just going to rapidly get worse unless, you know, you have some connections, you start a business, you find a side hustle, you build it up, and just, you know, find a way to live. And, you know, money's just rapidly going up. Inflation, it's not even about to go down. When does it ever really rarely go down? Gas has jumped up again. And, you know, it's just like, dang, ain't this just amazing? For real. That's just how it's looking outside. Right now, I'm just jumping from job to job, and it's just, when does it end? That's the trick. It don't. It don't. It don't end. Gotta make some work.